Good evening. You're watching the News at 6 with me, Ishan Russell. The News at 6 is all about the day's biggest developing stories, and today we'll be updating you on the flood crisis that faces Kashmir. What's the latest on that? We'll fill you in over the next half hour. Along with that, all the big political developments that have been happening. A war of letters between Congress President Sonia Gandhi and Nitin Gadkari, Union Minister, has written back to her over the land acquisition bill. We'll fill you in on that as well. But first, the headlines we're tracking right now. Non-stop rain in Kashmir raises Jhelum River levels. 1 person killed and 10 fear trapped as panic residents fear repeat of last year's floods. Election Commission seeks strong law against use of black money during elections, says it has created an imbalance in our democratic system. The President gives the Padma Awards, confers Bharat Ratna on Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. The Sensex surges over 500 points to snap an 8-session-long losing streak. And Saudi Arabia-led coalition continues Operation Decisive Storm in Yemen. Government steps up efforts to rescue 3,700 stranded Indians. Top story this evening. The Election Commission today deliberated upon the Political Finance and Law Commission's recommendations on electoral reforms. Batting for a strong law regarding political funding, Election Commission today said use of black money during elections has to be checked as it creates an imbalance in the democratic system. Chief Election Commissioner H.S. Brahma said, and I quote, "Black money impinges democracy. Black money and muscle power disturb level playing field. Though money cannot guarantee votes, the one who can spend more has an upper hand." Law Commission Chairman Justice A.P. Shah warned of a situation where corporates influence political parties and the latter start projecting the interests of the former as the interests of the people. He also said that corporates are now taking over media houses. Referring to the recent recommendations made by the law panel on electoral reforms, he said the Companies Act should be amended to require passing of a resolution authorizing the contribution from the company's funds to a political party at the company's annual general meeting instead of its board of directors. Representatives of political parties were also present during the deliberations. And the correspondent Sham Sundar has been keeping a track of this development. Sham, indeed, as far as political or electoral reforms go, a lot has been said. The entire debate has been going on in the country for some time now. And both the Election Commission and the Law Commission Chairman talking about rather important steps. But can these steps be ever taken? Would there be enough political consensus?
Ishan, you are absolutely right that when Mr. S.Y. Qureshi was Chief Election Commissioner of India and Veerappa Moily was Law Minister at that time, there were many meetings between Law Ministry and Election Commission, and same kind of national consultation procedure was started in different cities of the country. There were consultations, and then one document was prepared, but again it went to cold storage after this Law Commission report. Again this issue has come up, and today it was discussed in Vigyan Bhavan, and the points raised by Mr. Justice A.P. Shah or Mr. Brahma are not new. Everybody knows about it. The question is the political will required to carry forward these reforms as far as elections are concerned and as far as political funding is concerned. I remember I we done a report on this issue, and we met all senior leaders apart from left parties. None of the other parties were convinced to come forward to take steps to stop use of black money, and as far as corporate funding is concerned, their transparency is needed there, and there is a proposal from Law Commission that the proposal should be passed in annual general body meeting of a company which wants to fund any political party, and most of the political parties say that if corporates want to strengthen democracy in this country, there is nothing wrong in that, but the question is the transparency in that funding.
All right, so the Election Commission and Law Commission have, of course, made their points, but will the political parties follow suit? That's the question. Sham, do stay on with us. There's another story that we'd like your comments on as well, and we'll come to that in a short while from now. But on to Kashmir now, where it's staring at the possibility of yet another deluge. The Jhelum River is flowing above the danger mark after incessant rains in the valley. Authorities today declared a flood-like situation in Kashmir, while the centre rushed a team for the on-the-spot assessment in the valley.
7 months after the widespread destruction caused by unprecedented rains, Kashmir residents are once again staring at the prospect of a similar calamity. Heavy unseasonal rains are breaching embankments, flooding rivers and drowning low-lying areas. Hundreds have been evacuated and moved to safer places. Civil administration, along with the army and the police, have launched rescue efforts to completely evacuate areas along the rivers and lakes. 2 NDRF teams comprising 100 personnel have been rushed to the valley as part of contingency measures.
We have dispatched 2 NDRF teams comprising almost 95 people with all sophisticated equipments. They are carrying boats, they are carrying diving sets, they are carrying life jackets and lifebuoys. They are also carrying satellite phones with them, so that if the communication breaks down, they will be able to establish contacts with each other. There has been some areas where the water logging has taken place. Our first and foremost task would be to evacuate those people, if at all they need to be evacuated, and to rescue those people who are trapped either in the structures or in the inundated water.
State Chief Minister Mufti Muhammad Saeed, who took stock of the situation, asked the army to provide logistical support to the civil administration to effectively counter the flood situation.
पैनिक तो होना चाहिए. पिछले दफा जब हुआ इनको वार्निंग, आज हमने उनको, मेरे ख्याल में सिचुएशन खुदा के फजल से ठीक हो जाएगी, मेरी उम्मीद वही है.
Alarmed by the situation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi rushed a central team headed by Union Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi to coordinate with the state authorities.
सरकार स्टेट की भी और सेंट्रल की भी कमिटेड है, पूरी तरह से किसी भी तरह का कोर कसर नहीं छोड़ेगी और पूरी तरह से लोगों की मदद करेगी और इस तरह के जो हालात है उस पे काबू पाया जा सके इसकी कोशिश करेंगे.
Landslides triggered by torrential rains have caused considerable damage to several houses in the valley. The crucial Jammu-Srinagar highway has also been blocked after large stretches of the road got damaged. With the Met Department predicting more rains in the next 2 days, the situation in the valley could only worsen. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Union Transport and Shipping Minister today replied to Congress President Sonia Gandhi's letter on the land bill. Slamming the Congress, Nitin Gadkari blamed past policies for what he called keeping the farmers always dependent on rain and relief from the government. Gadkari's letter claimed that in the states, the maximum number of land acquisition are done to enhance irrigation facilities. Gadkari also alleged that Sonia had misquoted facts of the Electricity Act 2003 in order to mislead the country. Gadkari claimed that the UPA government's development plans of the last 10 years had kept youth unemployed and brought to a halt development and construction.
Just because Congress President has sent him a letter, he thinks that he has to reply, otherwise he will suffer, is not the answer. The answer is, please tell us what is it that you have done, what is that you are doing. The issue of farmers is about credit, is about credit worthiness of institutions that look after the farmers. It's about the cost for the farmer of inputs. It's about the price they get for their product.
सवाल ये है कि हम भी कहते हैं देश हित में है, वो भी कह रहे हैं देश हित में. कौन सा देश हित के लिए बेहतर है? सवाल तो वो है, और उसके लिए क्या करना है. हमारा मानना है कि जो कानून वो जो ला रहे हैं, अब फिर से जो अध्यादेश वो लाएंगे, वो देश हित में नहीं है और खास तौर पर हमारे किसानों के हित में नहीं है.
हमारी पार्टी ने कहा है भूमि अधिग्रहण अध्यादेश के बारे में, लैंड एक्विजिशन ऑर्डिनेंस के बारे में, कि सरकार को चाहिए कि इसे फिर से जारी न करे. इसलिए राज्यसभा का सत्रावसान करने की भी कोई जरूरत नहीं है, राज्यसभा को प्रोरोग करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ये समय का आप उपयोग कीजिए आम सहमति बनाने के लिए.
Correspondent Sham Sundar is with us to throw light on this particular story, because Sham, this is a confrontation that does not seem to be ending. The land acquisition bill, the Rajya Sabha has been prorogued. The bill ordinance is now said to be repromulgated, and the government and the opposition are still maintaining the tough stance.
As far as controversy on this issue is concerned, it is not going to end very soon, because opposition is prepared to take on government on this issue, and from government side, Nitin Gadkari is holding fort, and many other leaders from rural background, they are prepared to convince people on this issue, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is very keen to carry forward these amendments in Land Acquisition Act, but we know that it is a very, very sensitive issue, and BJP is trying to engage opposition parties in a certain kind of debate, but opposition is blaming BJP, and opposition has some credibility, because in 2013 this bill was passed after a expanded democratic consultations, not only with the political parties but other stakeholders also, like Kisan unions and NGOs, and this bill went through standing committee, and when this bill was passed in the parliament, BJP supported this bill wholeheartedly, and now Congress and opposition parties are asking BJP that if you saw that this bill is anti-farmers, if this bill is going to stop development, why at that time you agreed to pass this bill? And moreover, opposition is blaming BJP that BJP says that Congress is running away from the debate, but when times come in Rajya Sabha to debate this bill, they prorogue the House. So BJP also have to give very to face difficult questions, and they have to answer these questions if they want that they are not branded as anti-farmer and anti-poor party.
All right, and Sham, this confrontation now seems to be spilling over onto the streets, because the Congress is planning a massive rally. There are agitations that other parties are also expected to do on the ground. So, as well as the BJP, they're also trying their level best to reach out to the farmers. The Prime Minister did that Man Ki Baat, talking to farmers as well. So, the confrontation now spilling over into the streets as well.
Definitely, for Congress, as far as Congress is concerned, and as far as Sonia Gandhi is concerned, this is the biggest issue, and they will not like to leave this issue, because during the UPA regime, when this bill was passed, there was a perception that there are many, including Monteng Singh, Ahluwalia, P. Chidambaram and Manmohan Singh, who are not very keen on this bill, but Sonia Gandhi, under her social agenda, she pushed for this bill, and when opposition MPs in the leadership of Sonia Gandhi, they met President Pranab Mukherjee, she pointed it out to Pranab Mukherjee that it was Sonia Gandhi, and she made it very clear that it was because of her insistence this bill was passed, and she will not leave this issue. And definitely, as we have discussed it earlier also, that it is a very politically sensitive issue, and all the regional parties we have seen in West Bengal, Odisha or other areas also, that it is a very, very sensitive issue, and no regional party will take a chance, will take a risk to support BJP without thinking about elaborately on the issue. So, and not only for Congress, right, it can be a glue to unite the whole opposition against BJP, who has got brute majority in the Lok Sabha.
All right, so the standoff of the land acquisition bill continues. Sham will be keeping a track of those developments for us. Thanks very much for that input, Sham. Moving on now, President Pranab Mukherjee today conferred the Bharat Ratna on freedom fighter Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. Malviya's family received the award from the President. The Padma Awards were also conferred today.
Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, a freedom fighter and an educationist whose vision helped establish the Banaras Hindu University, was posthumously awarded the country's highest civilian honor, the Bharat Ratna, on Monday. President Pranab Mukherjee gave the award to Malviya's family at a ceremony at the Rashtrapati Bhavan.
हमारे पूरे परिवार को इस सम्मान से बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा खुशी हुई है। मैं यही चाहूँगा कि हमारी आने वाली जनरेशन ये देखे कि ऐसा भी व्यक्ति है जिसने जिंदगी भर त्याग किया और उसके मरणोपरांत आज उसको इतना बड़ा आदर सत्कार मोदी जी ने उनको आदर सत्कार दिया है।
The President also conferred the Padma Awards to a host of other personalities. The country's second highest civilian award, the Padma Vibhushan, was given to senior BJP leader Lal Krishna Advani and Shiromani Akali Dal leader Prakash Singh Badal.
To take cognizance of whatever I have been able to do in public life, that they have decided to give me the Padma Vibhushan, I feel overwhelmed by it.
The Padma Bhushan was awarded to lawyer Harish Salve and journalist Swapan Das Gupta and Rajat Sharma. Padma Shri awardees include film director Sanjay Leela Bhansali, lighter lyricist Prasoon Joshi, physician Dr. Randeep Guleria, creator of a popular cartoon character Chacha Chaudhary, Pran Kumar Sharma posthumously, shuttler PV Sindhu, hockey star Sardar Singh and amputee Everest climber Arunima Sinha. On Friday, President Pranab Mukherjee had presented the Bharat Ratna to former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee at the latter's residence in New Delhi. Bureau report for Rajya Sabha TV.
On to the markets now, where the Sensex closed on Monday with healthy gains ending 522 points up. This to snap an 8-session long losing streak. The wider 50 scrip Nifty of the National Stock Exchange also gained substantially during the day's trade to close at 8,503 points. Sensex touched a high of 27,990 points and a low of 27,625 points in the day's trade. However, most technical analysts are not reading too much into the upward movement, seeing it as instead as a technical pullback rally. Time for a very quick break right now, but coming up on the other side, despite a week of intense infighting, the Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal says all is well within the organisation.
जम्मू कश्मीर में फिर बाढ़ का संकट, हालात पर सरकार की नजर। पीएम ने उच्च स्तरीय दल को भेजा कश्मीर, पुख्ता इंतजाम के निर्देश। देखिए पहली खबर, घाटी में बाढ़। आज रात
Welcome back. You're watching the news at 6. Now, despite the bitter infighting and a weekend of intense standoff and high drama, Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal has claimed that all is well within his party. Speaking to reporters for the first time since the party's high-charged National Council meet, Kejriwal said his party was doing all right. He was responding to a question on the upheaval in his party, which saw founding members Prashant Bhushan and Yogendra Yadav being sacked, first from the party's Political Affairs Committee and then the National Executive. Yesterday, Bhushan was also sacked as head of the National Disciplinary Committee. The party also abruptly cut short the tenure of its internal Lokpal, Admiral Ramdas. The buzz is that Yogendra Yadav may now face the axe as the party's chief spokesperson. News reports suggest that the party will soon release a new list of spokespersons which will not figure Yogendra Yadav's name. Time now for more national news and updates in Nationwide. Maharashtra Water Resources Minister Girish Mahajan courted controversy when he attended a school function with a revolver tucked in his waist. The incident happened on Sunday when Mahajan was addressing differently abled children in Maharashtra's Jalgaon district. A photograph of him with a gun has created a furor, with the opposition demanding action against him. On being asked about the gun, he said it was for self-defense. The Uttar Pradesh government has cancelled the provisional civil services preliminary examination after the question paper was leaked on WhatsApp messaging service. The special task force has arrested 3 persons in connection with the leak. Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav summoned the chairman of UPPSC, after which the action was taken. At least 10 people died in Jharkhand's Garhwa district today when a bus overturned and fell into a gorge. The bus spiraled out of control before falling into the gorge. 8 people died on the spot. Rail and road traffic was disrupted in Bihar today during a 24-hour bandh called by the Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad. At several places, shops were forcibly closed and vehicles were damaged. The Bandh was called to protest a police lathi charge and firing during ABVP's Vidhan Sabha march on the 26th of March, in which several ABVP members were injured. Some international news now. Saudi-led airstrikes continue to target Houthi military posts and weapon depots in Yemen, including the capital city of Sana'a. The coalition has indicated that the campaign, which has the support of the US, will continue for a considerable period of time, though ground combat has been ruled out for now. Saudi Arabia has accused Iran of beefing up the Houthis' weaponry, and fears of a proxy war among the Middle East's big powers now looms large.
Telltale signs of a country in chaos. Airstrikes carried out by a coalition led by Saudi Arabia in Yemen's capital Sana'a. Clashes between rebels and fighters loyal to President Mansour Hadi in downtown Aden. Cities without bomb shelters or safe havens for residents to run to. Empty streets. Diplomats leaving in droves, and worst of all, indications that this is not going to end anytime soon.
There is just cross-boarding artillery operation against some target in the Yemeni northern border. We are using the Apache to attack some concentration of force for the militias, but there is no, let's say, major land operation in the schedule actually.
We haven't made the decision to send ground troops in so far. So far it's been an air campaign, and we have a plan in motion and we're executing this plan.
Earlier on Monday, leaders agreed to form a multinational Arab military force to fight the Houthis. The coalition includes majority Sunni nations including Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Jordan, Morocco, Egypt and Sudan. However, Iran has denounced the Saudi-led armed intervention.
فيما يتعلق كيف سوف تستخدم هذه القوة، هذه مرحلة لم نصل إليها، لكن لا نستطيع أن نسبق الحوادث ونقول القوة يعني تقوم بهذا أو بذاك.
Meanwhile, countries are scrambling to get their nationals out of the war zone. Pakistan evacuated about 500 of its nationals on Sunday during a brief pause in airstrikes. A Chinese vessel is also docked in the port of Aden to transport Chinese diplomats. This after Saudi Arabia evacuated dozens of diplomats and the United Nations pulled out international staff from Sana'a. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And India today began evacuating its nationals from strife-torn Yemen as Saudi Arabia stepped up the attacks. 80 Indians have arrived home after India got permission to operate flights from the capital Sana'a for 3 hours a day. More Indians are expected to be rescued in the coming days. 2 passenger ships have been deployed for the mission.
The escalation of the Yemen crisis has raised concerns in India, with about 3,500 Indians currently stranded in the conflict-riddled country. The government is making all efforts to evacuate them safely. 2 passenger ships left for the Djibouti port from Kochi on Monday morning. The vessels MV Karavati and MV Corals can accommodate up to 1,200 people. It will take at least 5 to 7 days for the ships to reach the port. Meanwhile, some 80 Keralites working in Yemen arrived at the Kochi International Airport on Monday. Recalling the situation in Yemen, they said hundreds of their countrymen were living in fear in Yemen.
ഇനി നമുക്ക് ഇനി ചെയ്യാനുള്ള കാര്യം എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ബാക്കിയുള്ള ആൾക്കാരെ എങ്ങനെയെങ്കിലും രക്ഷപ്പെടുത്തിയെടുക്കണം. അതിന് എയർപോർട്ടിൽ നിന്ന് ക്ലിയറൻസ് എടുത്ത് സൗദിയായിട്ടുള്ള നയതന്ത്ര ബന്ധം യൂസ് ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ
രാത്രിയിൽ ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന അറ്റാക്സ് ആദ്യത്തെ ഒരു 2 മണിക്കൂർ ഡ്യൂറേഷൻ ആണെങ്കിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ അത് 12 മണിക്കൂറായിട്ട് വന്നിരിക്കുകയാണ്. യമനിലുള്ള എല്ലാ മലയാളികളും എല്ലാ ഇന്ത്യക്കാരും എസ്കേപ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി റെഡി ആയിട്ട് നിൽക്കുകയാണ്.
After the MEA obtained permission to operate flights from Yemen's capital Sana'a for up to 3 hours a day, Air India sent its first flight to airlift the stranded. An Indian Navy patrol vessel involved in anti-piracy operations is also headed for the port of Aden, where a smaller Indian community is based. The government has dismissed criticism that New Delhi was slow to react to the deteriorating situation in Yemen. They say the External Affairs Ministry had issued 3 advisories urging Indian nationals to leave the country, the first on January 21st. The ministry has also set up a 24-hour control room to monitor the situation in the country. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, talks intensified in the Swiss city of Lausanne for a preliminary nuclear deal with Iran. The foreign ministers of the P5+1 countries, that's UK, US, China, France, Russia and Germany, are meeting Iran's top diplomat, Mohammad Javad Zarif, and are hoping to reach a breakthrough to reach an understanding for a final resolution of the Iranian nuclear issue. They're aiming to agree on a political framework by Tuesday night that would set the stage for talks on the technical details of a comprehensive accord due by June 30th. Western nations want to impose limits that would prevent Iran from producing enough fuel for a nuclear weapon within a year. Iran wants to see crippling sanctions lifted in return. Time now for all the action from the world of sports and sports speed. For the first time since 1996, Tiger Woods is not among the top 100 golfers in world rankings. Woods, who has not played since he withdrew from the Farmers Insurance Open on 6 February, is down to the 104th spot. The last time he was out of the top 100 was on 29 September 1996 when he was at 225. World number 3 Rafael Nadal crashed out of the Miami Open in the third round. Nadal lost to fellow Spaniard Fernando Verdasco 6-4, 2-6, 6-3, who's ranked 34 in the world. Verdasco has now won his last 2 matches against Nadal, with their previous 13 meetings going to the 14-time Grand Slam winner's way. Jimmy Walker became the first multiple winner on the PGA Tour this season by claiming a 4-stroke victory over Jordan Spieth in the Texas Open at TPC San Antonio. Walker began the day with a 4-shot lead. Spieth, who struggled on the front 9, put on a late charge to whittle Walker's 7-shot lead down to 4. Well, that's a wrap on this bulletin, but before we go, we leave you with this. Hundreds of people thronged the streets of Melbourne to welcome the Australian team that brought home the ICC World Cup for the 5th time. Fans cheered the team that also marked a fitting farewell for captain Michael Clarke.